the shark as your avatar from the Suicide Squad trailer, because I've heard a lot of people say that they prefer the one from the Flash. So it's kind of funny. It's meme worthy for sure. It's like a little smiley shark. So
yeah, it reminds me of I won't say who.
Oh yes. All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the after party. We're starting earlier tonight because we have absolutely so much to talk about. There is so much content from this past weekend from Fandome, and we've had a couple of interviews drop with information about the shows. So I want to start a little bit early so we can get through everything in a timely manner. I'm thinking like I want to limit this at like the hour and 45-minute mark. Like I feel like that's a good place if we get that far. I know sometimes we normally go that long, but I feel like, you know,
well, it matters. It matters if we get into another Eric rant and
I know, absolutely. So I'm here joined by the Shark. Hello, Shark.
Thank you for joining me. Hold on. Do you see the written there? It's just Shark. Thank you very much.
I'm joined by Shark. I'm here.
Calling you the djairrick. Shark.
It's just Shark. Okay, got you. So I don't know. There may be a few rants tonight. We'll have to see. Hello, Lone Wolf. Hello, Tomo. Hello, Josh, Haley, Severin, Ben, Vasily, Slice. Oh, okay. Hello. Welcome, you guys. If you're watching this on playback, we're going to be talking about everything Fandome, and we're going to talk about some Flash stuff as well. As always, super chats are active. We'll try and keep them, like if they're not related to the topic, we'll just answer them when we're done with whatever we're talking about. So send over your super chats if you have any questions or comments or anything you want me to read.
I must say, to start off the after party, I would like to pose a question to the chat. Is that okay? Can a question be posed?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Shark or King Shark or Weasel? Vote. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll look at your results in the chat while we talk. King Shark or Weasel? Let me know.
All right. Goober. Okay, look already. Here we go. Hot take. Number one. Is this a hot take or is this real? Goofy Goober. Am I the only one who thinks Steppenwolf CG looks bad?
Well, if you don't have associate producer of Zack Snyder's Justice League in your Twitter bio, then yes, you actually have eyes and you can tell that it's not very good. So yeah, congratulations, Goofy Goober. You're on the right side of thinking. Yeah, I'm very happy with the chat at the moment, by the way.
Yeah,
with the abundance of King Shark. I am seeing some weasels. Look, I'm not going to attack you, but you are wrong. You are wrong. It is King Shark. So I'm very happy with the Shark votes. But once again, not going to hate you because of the weasel votes. It's just that potential future opinions of yours will always be double guessed.
Oh, gosh. Okay. We're going to go through everything in a certain order, guys. We're going to get to the SnyderCut soon. We'll talk about all that because it's going to probably take up a big chunk of time here. But if you have super chats and you want to send them over, asking about the Snyder cut, we'll definitely talk about that. Vasily, it's entirely up to you. If you want exclusive content that you're not going to get on my main channel, like my Lucifer reviews and just a couple of random videos I do a month, and all the perks you get from that, then you can become a member. If you want to super chat because it's easier for you to do that, then that's much appreciated as well. So
do you want me to chime in with my opinions there?
Yeah, what's your opinion?
Just do both. The best, to quote Hannah Montana, it's the best of both worlds.
Why not? Why not? All right, so here we go. Let's get through this here. I want to talk a bit about the Wonder Woman 84 stuff that we got, and I wanted to put it first because we've already seen quite a bit from the Wonder Woman 84 movie. I mean, we've seen so much promotional materials from that. And your thoughts on it? Anything to add?
Well, I think this trailer was just like, here's Cheetah, because I think everything in this, nothing was really, there was nothing else in the trailer, I think, that was new. It was just here's that a scene with Cheetah. I think the only thing that was sort of it was just that pretty much. I guess you got more Steve Trevor, but I don't think it was anything that really deep in what was going on there. Like I think that's just wait till the movie to see that. I think it was just like a first look at Cheetah, and that's about it. I don't think there was much. Like, there was hardly any Maxwell Lord, your favorite character. There was hardly any of him in that trailer.
Yeah. Let me see. Can I, if I make this, I don't want to do that full screen. We'll just leave it like that. So I think the thing about Wonder Woman is I absolutely love that first trailer that we got last year. The big trailer, like I think it was like a 2-minute trailer that like played had 80s music in it, and it was just very fun. And I love that because I thought, okay, if we're gonna go in a different direction, just like do it 100%, like they did with the Thor movies. Like from Thor 2 to Thor 3, there was a huge like change in tone or whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm good with that. It felt more like Aquaman to me than Wonder Woman, which is fine. I think they're trying to reestablish something new in the DCEU. Outside of the stuff that we saw in this trailer from Cheetah, which I thought was pretty cool, I preferred the other trailer. I think the other trailer for me was a better trailer. Do you have any thoughts about that, or do you know which trailer I'm talking about? Like the first like 2-minute trailer we got.
It was almost a year ago. Like I think it was in that Brazil thing. Then they released the Birds of Prey one,
right?
Around on the same day, I think. Yeah, I think the first one was better. But as I said, I don't think I don't think there was really even much new in this trailer outside of Cheetah. I think Cheetah was like the big selling point of it, even though she's not really in it that much either.
Right.
But yeah, I think that was the whole selling point. I don't think this one's going to be playing in theaters. I think maybe for like maybe in the month leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no new movies there anyway. Like Wonder Woman's like there's Tenet, but then like Wonder Woman's like the first really big one, like in like what 5 weeks, 6 weeks or something. So
yeah,
it's not like they have to sell people online. Oh, sorry, sell people in the theater. They'll probably just still play the old one. So I think they may as well just call this "Here's Cheetah."
Yeah, I think here's a better look of it. Here, it's a light and picture and everything. So what do you think in terms of like VFX for this character? Are you happy with this? Or you're not happy with this?
I think it looks fine. It's just that when I look at the face, it actually doesn't look like Kristen Wiig to me.
Right.
Like if that was just random person, I'd be like, okay, fine. Like I think it looks like pretty good, to be completely honest. Much better than I thought it was going to look.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't look like Kristen Wiig to me in the face. Right. It looks like they haven't done the scan properly, where at least it. Like in the eyes, yeah, but I guess like the rest of the face, it doesn't look exactly like her. But I do have a question for this. I do wonder when this was finished, because I have a feeling this wasn't necessarily something that was made for Fandome. I think it was meant to this was something that was meant to be released a while ago in the lead up to actually, if it met its release date.
Yeah, because if you think about it, this can't be technically unfinished because they've had time to finish the movie. So
yeah. So I don't think this was necessarily meant to be like a big Fandome reveal thing. I think this was just meant to be a normal trailer that came out. But yeah, my only gripe with it is it doesn't really look like Kristen Wiig, at least in that one. There's another one which it's hard to get a screenshot of it in the trailer, but in quick it looked like her more. But this one where they really focused on it, doesn't really look like her exactly. But I think like the fur looks fine and everything like that.
Yeah,
and I do like how the cheetah sort of go, because I think at night cheetahs turn sort of like white. They're not really orange, so that's sort of they fit that in fairly well.
Yeah, I would say that I kind of expected a little bit more from the VFX. They've had extra time, not necessarily extra money, but extra time. You think that they could have gone back in and maybe polished it up a little bit, because I think you're right. The one thing when it comes to transforming a person into a character, and you see this a lot. I think the Flash show, you see it quite often. There are times when Barry as a VFX Flash doesn't really look like Grant Gustin. Like there's certain angles where you can see and you're like, oh, that's definitely not him, you know?
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing about doing a VFX face, because that's really all you need, honestly. Like the rest of that body can be whatever you want it to be, but the face still has to sort of look like the actor. And so for me, it's like with that face, it has to be spot on. And on a movie, you kind of expect it to, especially where we are technology-wise. There's really no excuse why a character shouldn't look like the person that they are, unless it's a total transformation. Like you're not, like you don't look like yourself at all. Like you're literally like a giant spider or something like that. Like that would be different. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed in that. But overall, I'm still very excited about the movie. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It seems like they are taking it slightly different direction than the original Wonder Woman movie. So I'm excited to see it. I hope the VFX, I hope those are not the finished VFX. I think they are, but I hope they're not, because I just guess I wanted more from the movie than that. And then, of course, Maxwell Lord in the movie supposedly is responsible for creating metahumans. Did you read that?
Oh, no, I didn't read that. That's interesting.
Yeah, there was an article. Let me just grab this quickly. Maxwell Lord, metahumans. There's an article.
Is that lava lamp new?
It's not usually on camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was getting distracted by it. It started glooping. I was like, oh.
I'll have to double check. Don't take my word on that totally, because it was from one of those random articles. But they were saying that he was going to be responsible for like this huge outbreak of metahumans on Earth or something.
Okay.
So we'll see if that happens. Anyway, if anybody else has any questions about Wonder Woman, now the topic is covered. If you want to drop a super chat about it, which I can't imagine unless there's.
I do have to say though, I think Wonder Woman arguably had the worst panel with the questions. The questions were terrible.
Yeah,
I can't believe they picked some of them. Some of them are just like, really? These are the ones you're doing?
Yeah. Gary coming in with the classic question, the one I super chats. The Flash getting delayed later than January. We are pretty sure they're going to start filming on time. So I don't think we're going to see a delay. Not right now. It seems like everything is going to start on schedule, right? Unless there hasn't been anything. I saw Grant posted a picture of him like actually there in Vancouver. So
I can confirm it's delayed until April 2027.
Okay.
So we're in for a bit of a wait, unfortunately.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn Suicide Squad, which is titled, I think the first one was just Suicide Squad. This one is The Suicide Squad. So there's no two.
The first one was Suicide Squad, and this one's Suicide Squad. Just to clear up any issues there.
Oh, Slice here says, do you agree that Diana literally wishing for Steve to come back is a lazy way to get Chris Pine back into the DCU? I mean, do we have any confirmation of like how he's coming back? Somebody was saying he's inhabiting another person's body or something.
Even the trailer, I think, shows that. I think in the first trailer when she's looking, it's obviously not him in the background.
Okay.
When he approaches her, it's
so he's like a spirit inside of somebody's body.
Yeah. What's that movie? Oh, there's a movie where it's the exact same thing, where the guy comes from heaven, he goes into someone else's body, and assumes
I don't remember, but it's not a
movie. I can't remember. I think that's literally what they're doing here. It's like an homage to that.
Yeah. All right, Josh D. Before we get into Suicide Squad, I just saw the super chat pop up with a $5 super chat. The CW DC verse is so huge with the characters they have. If you and Paige were to choose 5 CW characters to join the DCU movie verse, who would they be? I mean, a lot of them are already there, honestly. I mean, there's really not. I don't think the minor characters would be characters that I would throw into the movie universe. Technically, I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head. I mean, most of the characters I think are going to be represented at one point or another. All the main characters. I guess I'd like to see a movie version of Supergirl if they could do something bigger with that character than what they have. Kryptonians always seem very underpowered to me on television, so I'd like to see like a big budget Supergirl film, not like the one from the 80s. Definitely not that one. Some of them we're getting, like the Hawkman character. We're definitely getting that character. We're going to talk about that with Black Adam and stuff. I don't really know. Maybe Wally West. I think to get a Wally West in the movie universe would be kind of cool. Do you have any characters that you would like to see?
Killer Frost, Firestorm, Supergirl, Vixen.
Maybe Red Tornado. That's kind of a cool character. I think would be interesting in a movie.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, he sets up some stuff in the DC universe. I think it would be neat to have him as a character. Like the Martian Manhunter would be kind of cool in the movies, I think. Because then all of his transformations could be, they could actually do them.
Yeah,
so, sure. Some people are saying Black Lightning. Black Lightning would be good in the film universe. I don't see why not. Thank you for the question. Let's see. Josh D. Zazman reviews with a $5 super chat. Eric, Black Adam seems like he's going to be flossing, chalking over the Justice League. Also, will the multiverse be a major player going forward post Flash? I have a whole section set aside for the multiverse stuff. We'll dive more into it there. But it does seem like the multiverse is a big deal, and that they may be doing more crossovers in the future. And we'll dive into those possibilities later. As far as Black Adam flossing and chalking over the Justice League, that whole statement from The Rock was kind of interesting. We talked about this. He left out Cyborg from his list of people he was going to be flossing on. Like, He said all the names and left out Cyborg. That's kind of weird.
Don't worry. Whenever anyone mentions the Justice League, whether it is live action or the comics, no one mentions Cyborg.
Jeez. So edgy. So edgy.
Well, it's true. Everyone was like, "Why is he in the Justice League?" Anyway, I'm talking about the comics as well. New 52, not necessarily the live action one. Anyway, move on.
Yeah. Gary Gamble's one eye super chat. Pagey, when is your next flashback? Eric to wait. What? When is your next flashback? Eric tune in. What is he? What is
he saying? Eric, tune in. It looks like you're lost mentally there, just sitting there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think you're getting. I think Gary is catching on. Mm-hmm. Eric ate some edibles. Okay, so the lava lamp is currently he's sort of like trippy coping mechanism. So that is actually a visual representation of Eric's brain.
Oh,
it is currently split.
Look, thank you for the super chat, Gary. I appreciate it. Vastly here, Bebo solo movie. Wow. How do you compete with that? I don't think there's any way. Anything you want to add to that?
No, nothing.
Okay, so we have the Suicide Squad movie. I didn't want to pull anything off the trailer because, to be honest, there's a million characters in that movie. So we'll just kind of run through what we know. This is a sequel, but it's not a direct sequel, right? So they're doing...
It's like a pseudo sequel. That's probably the best way to put it.
Sort of like the Birds of Prey movie was not a direct sequel to anything, right? So...
Yeah. Okay. You could argue that's probably more of like a follow-on from Suicide Squad than this.
Right.
Actual Suicide Squad 2.
Because we're actually returning, some of the characters are returning. So, of course, Viola Davis is going to be Amanda Waller, Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn, Joel Kinnaman is Rick Flag, and Jai Courtney is Captain Boomerang. Those are the ones that I know from the first film that are coming back. So we're getting those characters back. Was there anyone else that I missed? I think it was those were just the main ones, right?
Yeah, Waller, Rick Flag, Jai Courtney, and Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and they redesigned Harley's suit apparently as well. So here's the new character. Wait, do you want to say something about that?
Oh no, someone's going like, wait, I'm confused. A sequel, but not a sequel. It's a pseudo sequel. So a pseudo sequel is something that's in the universe that follows on from something, but really has no relation to it. So it could be called Suicide Squad 2, but it's actually not a follow-on from Suicide Squad. But they decided to call it the Suicide Squad.
You know what it reminds me of? Early on, I thought that an Elseworld version of the DCEU would be good, where you can get the same characters in different stories, and they are connected, but they're not. So, for example, with Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn, she's been Harley Quinn, or will be Harley Quinn, in 3 different movies, but they're slightly different versions of that character in each film.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. I think that's cool. It's a cool way to sort of have continuity, but not have continuity at the same time. So pretty excited about that. Oh, here he goes. Are you going to be in Pagey's flashback review? Probably not, because you're reviewing the top 5 best, right? Is that what those are? The flashback reviews?
Yeah.
And I am doing the top 5 worst. So you watch the best ones on Pagey's channel, and then you come to my channel and get mad.
Well, hold on. To be transparent, the Daddy Loves the Metal episode will be coming up on Eric's channel. There may be a cameo.
Okay. There may be one. All right.
I'm not saying it's a cameoing, by the way. I'm just saying there's a cameo.
Latin Shark. I will get to your super chat in just a second because we've got so many characters.
Latin Shark.
Yeah, a Latin
cultural in here. Got me.
I don't know what shark is in Spanish. I don't know what that word is in Spanish. It's one that I haven't learned yet.
Shark.
Yeah.
Shark.
So Will Smith is not coming back to the sequel, as well as some of the other characters. I guess maybe they'll address that in the movie. I don't know. But
I think the only reason he was busy. I think he was meant to come in the movie. He was meant to be in the sequel because he was one of the more popular bits of the first one.
Right.
And he's Deadshot as well. Deadshot's such a core member of the Suicide Squad. Like that's why Captain Boomerang's coming back. He's always been in it. So I think he was meant to come, but he was just busy. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to put this up so I don't lose it here, his super chat. But let me get through these. So the characters we have, and I think I got everyone. I wrote all these down. So we have Idris Elba as Bloodsport, the Robert Dubois version, which is basically kryptonite tech and weapon teleportation, right? That's his powers. Like that's what he does normally.
Say that again.
Kryptonite / technology and weapon teleportation, right? That's what he
Who?
Bloodsport. Idris Elba, like that character, right?
I think he just he's a hitman, isn't he? Hired by Lex.
Yeah, but I thought that that was what he used, like technology and stuff. Like that was
well, I know he went to prison for shooting Superman with a bullet. That's the context for the movie.
Right. But he also can teleport weapons to his hands, right? Is that part of his powers or no? For some reason I'm noticing that because he was in Supergirl season 3, the Girl of Steel episode, and I didn't want to go back and watch it. Yeah, that character was in there. Yeah. Yep, season 3 of Supergirl. Surprisingly enough, we have John Cena as Peacemaker, who I believe is just a soldier with technology, right? I mean, he doesn't have any powers, right? These are really random characters that you're looking up the Supergirl episode, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just like, because I'm just like, what do he look like?
I'm pretty sure he was.
He was. They didn't call him Bloodsport or anything. They just called him Robert Dubois.
Yeah, but that was he was definitely there. Peacemaker is like a super, like, I guess, extremely crazy Captain America type character, right? Like with tech and stuff. He doesn't have any powers, correct?
Old character, don't know him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these are weird. He was mentioned in Black Lightning.
Deep dives. They're deep dives because I think pretty much everyone's going to die. I think you're only going to get 3 or 4 people surviving this movie. So I think James Gunn pretty much went, well, what will they never use?
Right.
Let's go in, grab them, do an interesting take on them.
Yes. We have, what is it? Peter Capaldi as DeVoe, as the Thinker. That's kind of a cool introduction. And he looks like the one from like the classic comic book version with like the actual things attached to his head, right? In the comics.
Well, that's not classic. That's New 52.
Well, that's the version that most people think of when they think of the Thinker, is that version, correct?
Well, he's the one that actually joined the Suicide Squad.
But I'm just saying visually, not necessarily story-wise. That's whenever I think of him, that's like the first image that comes to my mind. And I think it's the one that we see the most often.
Yeah, if you ever see anything like Thinker-wise, they'll use that image of the actual thinking cap embedded.
Yeah, I didn't mean to use classic. I was thinking of like something else. But yeah, the one that the visual that everybody thinks of when the Thinker shows up. And he's actually a really fantastic actor. So I'm curious.
He's also now.
Yeah. I mean, do you think this version is going to be more akin to the comic book version?
Yeah, I've seen people say, like, how is he going to be on the Suicide Squad? He's OP. I'm like, yeah, but the Flash show made him OP. Like, in the comics, he's not that OP. Like, he's still very useful and very dangerous, but he's not that OP like the show made him.
And then we have Pete Davidson as Blackguard, connected to Booster Gold. I don't know what his powers are again. David Damaskian as Polka Dot Man. And his dots on his suit are like technology, and he can remove them and turn them into weapons, I think, is what I saw when I was looking him up. Michael Rooker as Savant, which is basically like a street-level fighter that also can hack computers. And I think he's connected to Birds of Prey in the comics. Nathan Fillion. Would you want to add something there to that?
No, you finish off. I'll speak after you're done.
Nathan Fillion is Arm Fall-Off Boy, self-explanatory weird power. Daniela Melchor as Ratcatcher 2. I'm not sure what the 2, how that's relevant. Is there a version of that?
In that behind the scenes, you see her when she's younger. So obviously her mother or her father was Ratcatcher.
Okay. Makes sense. Steve Agee as King Shark and Sean Gunn as Weasel. Those are the primary members. I hope I got all of them. Anything you want to add in there?
No, someone was just saying that I got my Thinker theory. When they first announced the cast, I went, I think Peter Capaldi's playing the Thinker back in November last year. And I got it right. So suck on that one.
So who do you think is going to die in the Suicide Squad movie? Every one of these characters are expendable, really. I don't think, I would not be surprised if half of those characters are dead by the end of the film.
I think everyone dies apart from Harley Quinn, because hello. I don't think Idris Elba will die. I think he'll survive. King Shark.
Maybe the Thinker will survive because of who he is.
I don't know. It might be hard to get Peter Capaldi to do multiple movies.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd like to think Boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only ones I could really guarantee.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the super chat, Latin Shark. Another shark there from Latin America. Let's see. So the teaser was cool. I think this is a movie to watch for, right? I think this is. I'm one of the people, and I want to put this out there. I did not hate the first film. I thought the first film was a fun popcorn flick. I didn't think there was anything super deep with it. I just thought it was a fun film. The more you watch it, yes, the more problems you see with it. But I think first, second viewing, you're going to have a good time with the first movie, right? I think this one seems like that, but like amped up. You know what I mean?
Do you want me to describe it perfectly for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
This one actually looks like it's going to be a Suicide Squad movie. It actually looks like James Gunn understands what Suicide Squad is. The first one was just your generic superhero movie with the Suicide Squad characters in there.
Right.
That's what it was. And that's why, and just to, I know we're getting sidetracked here. That's why I don't want to see the Ayer cut, because he's talking about, oh my God, it was this dark and it was this dramatic and had all these tones and themes going. It's like, you're missing the point of Suicide Squad. Whoever changed your movie and made it what it was and thing was actually trying to make it Suicide Squad. Like,
so would you go as far to say that the re-edits to the movie were done to make the movie better? Is that what you're?
I think someone was trying to story his movie and went, what the hell is this? This isn't Suicide Squad. It looks like you're trying to make Batman v Superman with Harley Quinn. Like, why are you doing this? And they tried to make it Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, you can only change something so much. That's why I don't want to see this Ayer cut. And the people that are going, release the Ayer cut. I'm like, what do you want to see? Do you want to? It's like you don't want to actually see a Suicide Squad movie. And the fact that people are saying they want to see this Ayer cut over the actual this thing, which actually looks like Suicide Squad, is mind blowing. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind that theatrical Suicide Squad movie, but I think it's because of the changes made to it.
Right.
I actually don't want to see, why would there be freaking parademons and Steppenwolf coming down? Fair enough, the witch there is stupid, but anyway, bit of a rant. Just stupid people online.
Okay. So what do you think this means after seeing this trailer, this teaser for Suicide Squad? It's not even a full-fledged trailer. It is literally what I would consider to be a teaser.
Well, it wasn't even a teaser. It was just behind the scenes. I'm surprised it didn't well, granted, I think there is that Brazil Comic-Con at the end of the year, and there's rumors going on that that's still going to happen, at least in some capacity.
Yeah.
And they're going to show stuff there. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get the actual first proper, like actual what would be the movie, but like a teaser or something.
So my question is, though, with this teaser coming out or whatever it is behind the scenes, do you think this is a big L for the Ayer movement? Do you think this is pretty much the end of it? I haven't really seen anybody pushing for it in the last week or so.
If you're still there, if you're still on Twitter, hashtagging release the Ayer cut after watching that, God help you. God help you, your soul, anyone connected to you in real life. Holy. Have you noticed that Ayer stopped tweeting stuff about it?
I mean,
he stopped pushing it. He's like, oh, what's the point?
I guess you're right. Yeah. Suppose so. All right, so let's go ahead and segue a little bit into the game before we move on. So there is a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. I think it looks really cool. It's Rocksteady Games. The only thing I've seen is people are kind of pissed off that they're doing another evil Superman story.
Yeah,
and it seems like they're kind of burned out on that. People feel like we haven't gotten enough of the hopeful Superman in the last 15 years. That he's always evil, and that it's getting to the point where the evil Superman doesn't seem to really be that weird anymore because he's like always evil now.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, you knew from the poster, so it wasn't that big of a reveal in the trailer.
Right.
So,
I mean, are you still going to be interested in the game, even though you know that's the premise of the story?
Oh, like I'll buy the game just because it looks like it'll be fun. Like obviously there wasn't gameplay there; it was just cinematic. Right. But I wish they'd come up with something. I guess they just because Superman's so OP, especially if he's evil. So it becomes like he actually can be this big boss sort of thing. Right. But you could use another cat. We could just make it a villain that comes down. I don't know why it has to be kill the Justice League. But does that mean Flash and all of them are over? Because Flash, imagine evil Flash.
Yeah.
He's probably more overpowered than Superman. Yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do there.
Why is this not showing up on the screen? I don't understand. Oh, there we go. Okay. So while we're still in the game category, let's talk a little bit about the Gotham. I think it's called Gotham Knight, right? Gotham Knights, I believe is the name of it.
Knights, I think it is.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the game that a lot of people thought was going to be a sequel to the Arkham series, and it's not because it's a completely different studio. And this one follows Red Hood, Robin, Batgirl, and Nightwing, and it doesn't look like Batman is a playable character in the game. So it's literally all of the Bat family members that they could get in a 4, I guess the 4 they decided to select. And there's rumors that there are going to be more later on, I guess, added into the game or whatever. Any thoughts on this? I think it looks like a fun game. I'm probably going to check this one out.
Yeah, but everyone's just going to play as Red Hood. No one's going to be any other character.
Yeah.
Is it meant to be? Is it Tim Drake? Is it the Tim Drake Robin, or is it meant to be Damien?
I thought it was Damien. It looks a little bit like Damien to me, but I don't know.
I was thinking Damien, but it doesn't. It looks maybe like he's a bit older. Maybe it's meant to be Tim Drake.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure.
Maybe it is. I'm not sure. What do you think of the Robin design for that suit, for the base suit, like without the cape and stuff?
It looks fine. Oh, it's
very modern. Okay, it's Tim. Okay, confirmed it.
Oh,
it's very modern.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think in the trailer you're saying with the Red Robin, thing where he has like that helmet, Red Robin thing. I think I remember saying that.
That sounds good. I'm excited about this game. I don't necessarily think it's gonna. I don't know which one is gonna do better. Like Rocksteady really, really does a good job with their games, but I'm not sure if the content of that game is not going to be enough, and that this game may be more interesting because it's a more interesting story. Maybe the Bat family characters, like most of these characters, you don't really get to play through a full scenario in a game.
We usually get like DLC where you play like 2 missions,
or like a mission or something.
Yeah.
I mean, out of these 4, like you said, Red Hood is definitely a big draw. And I think Nightwing is also going to be popular. I think a lot of people are going to play that character. I don't know about Robin and Batgirl. I don't know how many people are super excited about playing those characters. Do you think all of these are going to be equal in terms of like fans, or do you definitely think
Batgirl, you still get the ability, like you probably get all the Bat gadgets and stuff like that. So that's probably one advantage with Batgirl. But yeah, like I don't know how many people would choose Robin over Nightwing or Red Hood.
Yeah. So Cody here says the game has a gear system, thus the suits. Yeah, thank you for the super chat, Cody, and Team Airrick member. Appreciate it. Yeah, I kind of assumed it would. It seems pretty common now with these types of games to have like a system where you can change the outfits, and that's something they can monetize for years and years and years. So I'm not really too shocked. It's going to be open world. Well, see, I'm even more excited about it now. So Vasily says he hopes that the DLC will include Damien's Robin, Batwoman, and Batwing. I think with DLC, you can take these characters and put them in other suits altogether and make them completely different characters.
Like, just add characters in there you can just shift in. Like, they'll probably add all of them. Probably add Batwoman and all of that. Yeah. Oh, you already said Batwoman, but yeah, like all those characters and Spoiler and Cassandra Cain and all that.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's move on from that because we got a little bit of news from some of these other shows. Let's go ahead and talk about Titans, I guess, since we're moving on from Red Hood. So it was confirmed that Red Hood is going to be in the next season of Titans. We're going to get Scarecrow. We're going to have Blackfire, more Nightwing, and I believe Barbara Gordon is also going to be there. Like, how many characters are we going to have on the show? Like, I feel like it's just so many.
Oh, I don't even know what to say. I've already said it before. Like, why introduce all these characters that you won't develop when you still haven't developed your characters that have been there since season 1?
That's a good point. I'm still waiting for Beast Boy development. Like,
I'm still waiting for anyone development outside of Dick.
Raven, where's development for her? Like, there's just not enough.
Like,
look, Prince of Anime says I feel like it's too soon for Red Hood. It absolutely is.
Well, apparently his reason is like, I hate that he's going to be hunting the Titans. That's his story arc.
He's not even that good. Like that. Like, he's barely a Robin. Like, it's crazy. Zazman Review says Robbie could teleport by the Justice League satellite in the game. Okay, that sounds cool. I'm excited for both games. I'm just wondering which one is going to be the fan favorite between the two of them, because it seems like the Kill the Justice League game has got a lot of controversy based on the concept of it. So yeah, Titans moving to HBO Max. We didn't really get much on that. As far as the movie stuff goes, we can go ahead and talk about Shazam 2 being titled The Fury of Gods, I believe. And Sinbad is going to be a character in that movie. Is that correct? Is that the right information?
Name?
And I know I've seen that. I'm hoping that's just a joke. And Aquaman 2, we're going to see Ocean Master again. It's going to be more horror elements, and they said it's going to be more serious than the first movie, which is weird to me because the fun of that first movie was why it hit the right
reason
tone.
it made $1 billion and people liked it was because it didn't take itself seriously.
Do you think they're going in the wrong direction by making Aquaman 2 more?
Yeah, what are they like? I think that just might be him just talking. I actually don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
Like, and by serious, you could be, maybe there's more emotion to it, which is fine. But
yeah,
I highly doubt you're going to get some sort of like deeper, like oversaturated and pushed message or something like that.
Look at somebody coming in with a weird take. Why are you disrespecting Jason Todd? I don't think I did. But okay. Let's see. We're gonna go back up here. I had some other stuff after the initial game stuff. I guess we can go ahead and talk about the Black Adam panel since there wasn't really too much there. We had The Rock answering questions. That was the majority of the panel, like pre-selected questions that we don't even know if they really came from fans or not. But we did find out the 4 JSA members that we're going to see in the film.
Well, that's the reason the Black Adam panel was a bit of a fail. Everything he revealed, as if it was like some sort of big thing, had been publicly known, just not for a couple of weeks, for months. It'd been reported not only by like random scoop sites, but like some of the bigger trades had reported it. So that's why I was sitting there going, oh, they must be like, they're not going to do it. They wouldn't do a Black Adam panel and make it like, I think it was 15 minutes and not do anything here. Surely we get some new thing. Maybe they'll announce who's playing Hawkman, who's playing Dr. Fate. And then it just went, oh, remember all that stuff you've already heard for the past couple of months? Let me just repeat it, but very slow. And the only cool thing was it was concept art, but concept art is concept art. You don't know if they're actually going to, like, Dr. Fate's going to look exactly like that or anything, you know. So, and then they made like some big reveal that Noah Centineo was Atom Smasher when DC Comics itself tweeted out like a month ago that he was playing it. So the Black Adam panel was easily the worst in regards to anything that showed stuff. I think in regards to a panel for a movie in general, Aquaman probably took the biggest L.
They didn't have anything at all, really.
Nothing.
So the 4 JSA members we're going to get are going to be Atom Smasher, Cyclone, Dr. Fate, and Hawkman. 2 of those I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do with on screen, and 2 of them I'm kind of scratching my head a little bit. So I'm really excited for Dr. Fate in live action in a film. I think that's going to be cool. And I think Hawkman is a character that a lot of people have wanted to see in film for a while, and I kind of want to see what they do with him there. As far as the other characters go, Atom Smasher, I mean, okay. All right. And Cyclone, I barely know anything about that character at all. So I'm okay with that setup. I think I'm most excited for Dr. Fate. What about you? Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the JSA because there's going to be more, but I know it's weird that because that JSA is the present day JSA, and there's going to be a JSA in the when like Black Adam sent as like a villain and they take him on back in the I don't know what year it's going to be. I'd assume the 1930s or 40s. And I think that you're going to get like a Jay Garrick and Alan Scott back then.
Laura says, don't forget the Wonder Girl storyline in Titan season 3. That's right. There is a Wonder Girl storyline as well. So let's see. Slice here says, what if Stargirl makes a cameo? I don't know if they would do that or not.
The reason that Cyclone's in the movie is because Stargirl got taken out. Stargirl was meant to be in it originally. And then there we go. Show, they put Cyclone in there.
Yeah. You're welcome, Vasily. Appreciate it. All right. So if there's no questions about Black Adam or anything else that you guys want to ask, then let's move on and talk about the Greg Berlanti multiverse discussion with Jim Lee and Walter Hamada. And they talked a bit about committing to more crossovers between movies and TV shows. And I think was it in that interview where they stated that the Justice League or that the DCU is on Earth 1? Was that during that panel? I can't remember where I saw that at, but I think I read that somewhere. Is that correct or is that incorrect?
I don't know. I didn't even. People were saying that. I was like, I can't remember them saying that in the panel.
I remember reading it somewhere, but I don't know if it was a clickbait site or where.
I think it might have been because I can't remember they said that. The only thing I remember them saying in regards to a specific Earth was that just the Batman was on a new Earth. Like that was the quote. It's on a new Earth. I assume it's just presumptions because I can't remember them actually saying that because if the DCU is going to be on any Earth, it will be Earth 1.
Right.
But I don't know if they said that.
I said you talked about this earlier in your live stream. Well, we're going over it in my live stream. So We're going to discuss
I
things
can't
here.
even remember going over it early in my live
I'm pretty
stream,
sure that we're going to talk about stuff that you probably already talked about in your live stream. So thank you for letting us know that. They also said that Justice League movies or the DCU and the Batman universe are different universes. I don't know why that needed to be specified. I feel like we kind of already knew that, right? So
yeah. I guess I had to say it just so people realized.
yeah. Let's see. Staggervore, what is your take on a potential Static Shock film? That was in my notes, but we can talk about it here. Thank you for the super chat. So, oddly enough, I think a Static Shock movie or a movie based on Static, to however they do it, whether it's based on the cartoon or the comic book version or whatever, I think that's a great idea. I think it's a younger character. They can really do some fun stuff with it, and tonally, I think it'll fit in with like the Shazam world and stuff like that. So, I'm okay with that. I think that's fine. But the thing is that, like, I guess, like, interested me the most was they said they were committed to creating a new initiative for the Milestone comics next year, but this is after they've announced that they fired a bunch of people involved with the comics division. So that was kind of shocking to me, because that all of that was kind of announced around the same time. So I'm not do you think they're like, how are they going to commit more digital comics maybe? Do you think that's what they mean?
I think they said a lot of it was digital first.
Okay. So yeah, I'm totally down with that though. I think it's great. Are you familiar with the Static Shock cartoon at all? Have you ever watched any of those?
Personally, I'd be shocked, pun intended, if this actually became a movie. I think the most likely thing is potential TV series. They said it's in development. How many movies have been in development at DC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd be surprised if this actually became a movie. I think most likely is a series in some way, shape, or form, whether it's on HBO Max or the CW, or I don't know where it would be, somewhere like that. That's probably the most likely thing. Because to be honest, I don't think it's going to be a box office sensation.
No, I'm just saying that I think they could make it work with certain things, but I don't know how well it would do.
Yeah, I think if they, and they also said it's in development as it's being talked about as a series or a movie. They didn't just specify film.
So maybe like an HBO series or even something on the CW might work better. I don't know.
Yeah, that's where you're probably going to see it. I think. So, I'd be very surprised if it's a movie.
Cody with a $2 super chat. I think when he says so many overlook this panel, you're talking about the multiverse panel, probably.
Yeah, no, I think people weren't thinking about it going into it, but I think on the day people watched it,
right?
Because it was just before the Flash panel, so I think people just stayed on. No one really got off.
So I guess the cool thing is we did get confirmation we're going to see more, or they're hoping to do more crossovers in the future. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's move on and talk about some of the bigger stories, because we've kind of dabbled in all the small stuff, and we're still 40 minutes into 40 minutes into this. The Snyder Cut. So we got that interesting trailer. It showed off, I guess, more footage from the stuff that hit the cutting room floor. A lot of unfinished VFX. I think the car scene wasn't totally finished. The big battle with Desaad, I guess, wasn't finished. And also the early version of Darkseid, I guess. How do you pronounce his name? Uxas, or I don't know.
Uxas.
UXAS. I'm not sure how I pronounced that, but we saw a lot of that. We saw more Flash footage, more Cyborg footage. It's going to be 4 1-hour parts. We don't have the schedule of that right now. I'm thinking mid 2021 at this point. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? And the panel itself was kind of a mess, I believe, but that's just my thoughts, because it was really Zack Snyder just wasting time. I think. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the panel itself was pretty crap. Let's be completely honest. It wasn't the worst, but definitely wasn't. You wouldn't put in your highlights montage, would you? But in regards to the trailer, it's pretty much what I expect, or the teaser, what do you want to call it? It's pretty much what I expected it to be, which was, hey, this isn't what you saw. Like, he's not going to show us the cuts, the stuff that was his in the theatrical cut in this teaser. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's always going to be, and not just like necessarily shots, but like potential arcs, if you want to call them,
right?
That weren't in the movie. So it's pretty much what I expected. Oh god, 4 hours. Let's see how it goes. That's all I can say.
So I think one of the things we also have to address is that it does seem like there was a lot of Flash and Cyborg content cut out of the theatrical version. And I wonder if that was the studio saying, we don't need this, we don't want this, or if it literally was Joss being told, you have 2 hours to make a movie.
No,
and
it
so
was
it had to go.
What it was is that Kevin Sujihara, who's now not there because he got the old got exposed for hanky panky for roles.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't think we're demonetized yet.
We're getting there though.
He mandated 2 hours, so that he was like the head of it. Like he was just the head of like Warner Brothers, pretty much. And Zack Snyder turned in like I think it was like a 2 hour and 2.5 hour movie. Now they told him 2 hours after he's made the movie, which is pretty slack on Zack. Like I think if you tell him 2 hours before he makes the movie, he'd probably be like, "Oh Jesus," but he'll still make it. But the thing is that after he made his 3.5, 4 hour cut, whatever it was, they say, "Oh, by the way, 2 hours." And he's like, "Well, Jesus Christ!" So he's from what was reported. This is like in 2017. He turned in a 2 hour, 2.5 hour movie, and it was unwatchable because it's meant to be 3.5, 4 hours. So you're cutting an hour, hour and a half out, and he was still 20 minutes over. And then I think that's when Joss Whedon got brought in to rewrite stuff, and that's when they're going to do reshoots so they could structure some of Zack's footage with new footage to make it 2 hours. And then obviously that's when Zack left the movie. And then that's why they did those big reshoots, because to make it a more streamlined movie. Because if you watch the theatrical cut, it's a streamlined movie. It doesn't feel like it's missing bits.
Right.
Like if you watch it, you don't go, oh, hold on, what's going on here? Like it's still a streamlined movie. It's just not what a Justice League movie should be.
Right.
But yeah, like it's going to be interesting because I can understand exactly where Warner Brothers was coming from if they feel like especially like the Flash and Aquaman stuff should have been cut, because I do wonder if this Snyder cut tries to do that like origin stuff for Aquaman and Cyborg, like almost what a solo movie should do. So I do wonder if he was trying to do that in his movies, and that would make sense if they went, oh, well, at least Aquaman's got to go. Yeah, because that's why I've seen like a bit of a sidetrack, but like the whole thing about like, oh, well, Cyborg deserves a solo movie. It's like, well, it's by the sounds of it, this Justice League is his solo movie. Like it's got the solo movie story in there. Right. Like, what do you do afterwards? Like the most interesting thing about Cyborg would be his origin.
So let me throw this out there just as a random thought, but do you think that they were thinking of Cyborg in the same sense that the MCU thinks of like Hawkeye and Black Widow, where they're not really, well, Black Widow is getting a movie now, but initially they're just characters that will show up in group movies? Do you think that's what they decided to do like afterwards, like after the fact? They're like, we just don't want to do a separate Cyborg movie, so let's use him as, because there was rumors he was going to be in the Flash movie, which I don't think that's going to happen now. Obviously he was going to be in other group movies moving forward, but it seems like after the initial idea of doing a Cyborg movie kind of went away, they just didn't really seem to care about that character in the DCEU. And I don't know if it just didn't work, or maybe they didn't think that it was the right fit for what they were trying to do. Maybe they just thought he was better in group movies, sort of like the Hulk as well. The Hulk is a character that just shows up in movies, and that's what he's been. After that first movie came out and they switched him to Mark Ruffalo, like, what do you think the mindset was with Cyborg? Because there was obviously there's a lot of footage that is gone, and they weren't ever planning on using it again. I mean, did they make this decision? Because if you think about it, when the theatrical cut came out, they must have already made a decision on what they were going to do with Cyborg, because they cut all of that out of Justice League. So do you think they were just like, he's going to be a side character, we're going to throw him in other movies? Because I can't imagine, if you take away his origin story from the Justice League movie, that means you'd have to do a separate movie with his origin story, or a movie that does flashbacks to his origin story, sort of, because the origin story in the movie is very bare bones. So,
well, you wouldn't bother with, because you're going back in time to do it. Like, the reason that his origin isn't there is just because it had to be 2 hours. You can't do any origin in that 2 hours. It's pretty much here's the characters, meet them, and then move on. Yeah,
I get that. I'm just saying, like, they must have had a idea when they did that cut that we're sacrificing his story because he's just going to be a side character moving forward. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see any reason, because the Flash was going to get a solo movie anyway, period. So you cut out that footage, it doesn't really matter. They can redo that in the Flash film or whatever. But I think Cyborg, it was like a conscious effort that if we get rid of this and we're not going to do a Cyborg movie, we're kind of sticking him as a side character, sort of. I don't know. Like, it's really weird because when they chose to cut things out, they literally butchered his story. You know what I mean? Like, there's not much left compared to what they're saying is still out there for Cyborg, or what was left on the cutting room floor, basically. So I just, maybe I'm trying to get to the point that maybe I'm understanding why Ray felt so betrayed when the movie came out, because his character really did lose everything pretty much from that movie. So if you love Cyborg, I guess we're going to get a lot of that based on the trailer in the Snyder Cut. Maybe one of the whole episodes will be just the Cyborg stuff, probably. What do you think?
Yeah, but it still goes to my thought that I've been saying since, well, forever. It wouldn't have mattered who came and directed, even if Zack directed it. Cyborg stuff was getting removed. He may have got an extra 5 minutes in the theatrical cut if Zack stayed on. It was pretty much getting cut. But it wasn't just him. Flash would have got his stuff cut. Right. Aquaman would have. The only thing to save them is that they were getting solo movies, especially Aquaman, literally a year later.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Ezra Miller was never going to come in and they were going to cut his footage and not give him a Flash movie. That was never going to happen.
Well, it's also the fact that the Flash is marketable.
Yeah,
you can sell a Flash movie. Let's be honest. How much does a Cyborg movie make in the box office?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, when they were thinking about this, when they decided to make cuts in the movie, I feel like they just had to go with the character that they thought didn't really matter at the end of the day in the film. And the thing is, Cyborg did have a huge connection to the story of the movie. Like, you're right. Justice League would have been his origin film. That would have been his beginning. Like, we not only met him, but we probably would have gotten a bunch of details about this character in that movie. So once they cut that out, they knew. That's what I'm saying. It's so weird because they knew by making it 2 hours and cutting out so much of that character that they were sacrificing potential films with Cyborg down the road. I do think they knew that. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird if there was that much left, because clearly there's a lot of Flash footage. But I think some of that Flash footage, didn't some of that get released or leaked out unfinished, like right after the movie came out?
It was pretty much all Cyborg stuff and one Flash scene.
Yeah, but the Flash scene was the one with him breaking through the glass and the car with Iris. Yeah. So I feel like, honestly, it's going to be interesting because I'm curious to see how much of the Flash footage was cut and how much of the Cyborg footage was cut, because I think we're going to find out that there was a lot. I would say probably 15 to 20 minutes, maybe more, of the footage of Cyborgs has probably been erased from the movie, from theatrical cut. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's whatever. What do you think about like the I guess the dark side character, the VFX in the trailer? Did they take an L with that one? I mean, obviously it's unfinished. It is.
Well, you hope. You pray to the Lord Bebo. I don't know who you're praying to. Someone mighty and powerful, because you'd hope that's unfinished.
Right.
If that's, because I give the benefit of the doubt that it is unfinished, but then I'm also left with a question mark. Why'd you put it in the teaser? Like, because Desaad looked finished. Desaad looked fine. He looked all done. I don't know how they'd improve that more. But then they showed the young Darkseid, Uxas, Dark, what do you want to call him? And I was like, and it's like, the thing is, it's like a slap in the face because it opens the trailer. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's a quick scene in the middle where like lots of stuff, you're looking, okay, what's going to be the first thing? And then that shows up and you're like, whoa, what the hell? Right. Yeah, I give benefit of the doubt that it's not done. It's hilarious. Twitter's hilarious because you're seeing a debate with people saying, oh no, it's unfinished. And then people saying, no, it looks really good. It's like, no, it don't.
Well, let's be honest here. Unless you have a problem with your vision, there's no way that looks good. I mean, it's just not.
Either your vision or you're just like, I don't know,
yeah,
just up there in the old brain. It's not working that well.
So I want to say a lot of the VFX was undone for this trailer, whatever you want to call it, teaser, promo, whatnot. So before we move on, because I don't see
hold on. Well, just one final thing on the Snyder Cut. Mm-hmm. I've seen like a big debate, like why some people like still show interest in it, but don't really care about it. And I think they might fall on the same path as me. I'm intrigued to see what you are like and what everyone else in the chat's like. But for me, I care about stuff that's relevant. So it's like when a show gets cancelled. Like, say you're watching a show and you're in season 2 or season 1. It's like with me with Swamp Thing. I was enjoying it. I was like, this show is really good. Love the first episode. Then it got cancelled and I watched the next 2 or 3 episodes. I'm like, I'm still liking it, but like, I don't want to get attached to this thing. So I just stopped watching.
Right.
And I think I thought that's where the Snyder Cut falls in. This thing it falls into that territory of like, it's irrelevant going forward.
Right.
So that's why I don't really care about it too much. Obviously, the whole fandom of the Snyder Cut is like a big issue, but Snyder himself, I don't really have too much of an issue with at all. I'm actually happy that he gets to do this because he can sort of like close the door. It's pretty much closure, the movie for him, because he can close the door. And I think he's pretty much I would be surprised if he kept doing DC stuff after this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily got a ridiculously great relationship with Warner Brothers. I think he's just sort of working with them to get this done so he can sort of move on. And I think he'll sign that ridiculously expensive Netflix deal that's apparently been rumored for him.
Yeah.
And then he can move on. He can do everything like that. Yeah. So hopefully, I'm hoping that when this thing comes out, that he makes it clear that that's it. Because otherwise, you're going to get released a Snyder Cut Part 2.
I'm already expecting that's going to happen, but yeah, you're right. So, before we're going to continue to talk about Justice League, I have 2 more things I want to talk about, but I do want to address Shane's super chat. He's been very patient here. What are your thoughts on 4 separate Batman universes? So I'm assuming you mean like the Matt Reeves, the Batman, the Snyderverse Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman universe, and I guess the Batwoman Batman universe. Is that what we're talking about, or is there another one that I'm forgetting there? Either way, I'm okay. Like, the multiverse is a big part of DC, so I'm totally good with them doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's fine. Do you have any thoughts on it at all? I think it's fine for me.
No, it's fine. Like, the thing is, I'm not surprised because Batman sells, so they'll keep spinning that. Yeah.
This interesting question from Tom. Are they able to get that Iris actress back after so many years later? I don't know what she's doing right now, to be honest. I have no idea if she's in any movies or TV shows, but I remember when her name came up and they were talking about her in the film side or whatever. I would also assume that most of the footage is probably filmed already. So unless she's coming back to do reshoots, which I don't think they're allowed. They're not doing any reshoots.
I think Iris is literally in one scene.
Okay, so with that being said, if they're not going to do a sequel, which I'm pretty sure they're not, and they're not going to move forward with that version of the Flash's story, it doesn't matter. And they're not doing live action reshoots, so I don't think it really matters if she's available to come back, honestly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think Zack Snyder said it's all voice work.
Yeah,
there's no live action. It's voice work and VFX.
Yeah,
that has to be done.
Yeah, so there we go. So the next thing I want to address for this before we move on is the release schedule. So I'm thinking mid 2021, right? I mean, that's about the right time, because I think early 2021 is being generous for this.
Well, it depends, because HBO Max, like, they need stuff, they need content, and they, like, HBO Max was doomed from the beginning because they didn't launch with a DC property. And I'm not counting Doom Patrol because it's not like a fresh property for them. I'm talking like, and even then, if it was, it's not a flagship series. Like, they're not launching with like a Green Lantern or anything like that. Like some big thing that's like, wow, how cool is this? Why they didn't, I'll never know. They got so many properties, Warner Brothers, and they didn't pull their finger out. But like, they're relying a lot on this Snyder Cut. I've said it a couple of times, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to deliver what they think it is. And I'm not saying people won't watch it. I just think people will illegally download this thing.
Probably because because he said there was going to be an international release for it, but they didn't really go into any detail about that. So
I don't think it's going to do for them what they think it's going to do. Like,
yeah. 2 things in the chat. Iris, that version of Iris will probably not be back for the Flash movie, just straight up. And as far as Justice League movies being canon, it won't matter after Flashpoint anyway. So, like,
Flashpoint's pretty, it's like the way to take the best of what they want to keep and then move on from the rest and not even refer to it.
Yeah.
Again.
Let's see. Haley said, "Oh, Canada graphs. We'll rush it out. Then we'll get released Snyder Cut too." Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a feeling because even so, there was a live stream, and I don't remember whose channel it was on, but there was a live stream like the night after DC Fandome, or no, the night of Fandome, and Zack Snyder was in the live stream, and people in there were already saying, "When the sequel comes out, when the sequel comes out, will you do this? When the sequel comes out, will you do that?" And Snyder was not telling them that it's not going to happen. He's like, "Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself here or whatever." And I get that, but you're not shutting it down, which means that you're going to perpetuate people to continue to do that. So I'm pretty sure it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah, like it's important to remember they can't release like, bad word to start that off with, but they can't they can't release a sequel to that in cinemas. Like it's been like made, or it's been said that like the theatrical version is the theatrical universe's version of Justice League. So the events in that are what
so the
happens.
one that's the most canon is the one that we saw in theaters. That is the most canon of the two.
Yeah. So whatever happens in the Snyder Cut isn't canon in the movies going forward.
Think of it as an Elseworlds movie. That's all it is, really.
Like pretty much what the Snyderverse will be is like this Elseworlds thing. But the thing is, he'll be limited to characters. He won't be able to use Ezra Miller. He won't be able to use Gal Gadot. He won't be able to use Momoa. He won't be able to use, I'd assume, Cavill. So he's left with, like, I guess, Cyborg, and he wouldn't be able to use Batfleck by the sounds of it.
Right. And let's be fair here. There's no amount of numbers that this would pull in for HBO Max that Warner Brothers would go, do a movie for us. Like, no, that I don't think that would happen.
Well, honestly. The thing is that Snyder loves to use the big budgets, which is why everything usually looks fairly good visually. Mm-hmm. I don't know what he's going to do with an HBO Max budget.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like, obviously it's a bit higher, but I don't think it's going to be.
Haley here says that HBO Max has the same issue as Disney Plus. There's a lot of good stuff, but almost no standout originals. I mean, that's true. There's a lot of older stuff you can watch on there, but as far as like new content, there's just not a lot. Let's see. I guess we can go ahead and move on from the Snyder Cut and talk about the Flash stuff, the Flash movie stuff, before we get to the Flash TV show stuff. So let me go ahead and pull this up. I want to pull up the photo.
Just a side thing. Yeah. On the DC press app, it has Zack Snyder's Justice League under TV, and they call it a made for TV movie.
Ow. All right, so moving on with the DCEU, we got this really cool shot, and I'm hoping that my video doesn't get hit for this, of the new Flash suit and what I'm assuming is the Keaton Batman. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's definitely the Keaton Batman from the film, because we know it's Michael Keaton, right? I mean, that's been confirmed. But people were saying it doesn't look like the suit from the movies, and I'm like, it looks a lot like the suit from the movies. I mean, there's a few differences, but it's pretty close. That's the way the symbol is attached to the cape there. That reminds me totally of the 1989 Batman movie. So what are your thoughts on this picture of the new suit and everything? What do you think?
I think it looks cool. Like, it's meant to be like organic and stuff, which I don't know how, because they said like Batman makes it, but like when they said organic at first, I thought, oh, so this like the Speed Force materializes on him, like how Wally West's does, which would have been funny because Ezra Miller pretty much is trying to play Wally West, not Barry Allen.
I want to talk a little bit about the concept of Batman making the suit. I'm not sure I like that. Batman does a lot of gadgets and stuff, but he's not like, you know, Lex Luthor or Tony Stark or something. He's not that kind of character. So for him to make a suit like this, he would need help with it. He wouldn't just show up with this, hey, here's this totally like advanced technology type suit, especially from the Tim Burton universe. I just don't know if I buy that. So I'm curious to see how they're going to make that work in this movie. I love the look of the suit. I'm wondering, like, is the change because they're doing it specifically to give him something to set him apart from the Justice League movie? Do you think that's it? Or do you think they really wanted to just give him something more comic book accurate? Or maybe vote?
I think they wanted to sell toys. That's why even though it's a slight change. That's why Superman got a new suit in BVS. It was just like, it didn't even look that much different, but it was just like, it was a tiny bit.
I love it because I hated the original suit. I honestly did. And I caught a lot of flack for it. People were really mad that I didn't like it. I never really, the original armor. I didn't
hate it, but I didn't understand why certain things were there. Like, I remember there was like that wiring around it. And it was meant to be like, oh, it was meant to protect him from the electricity. I'm like, he's connected to the Speed Force. Like the electricity wouldn't. He is one with the Speed Force. Electricity wouldn't do anything to him.
I've said the same thing. Like the Speed Force and Barry connected together would mean that he would not suffer the same problems. As
but then it's
just touching lightning. It's not the same.
But then that reasoning contradicts itself because we see him run without the suit anyway.
Yes, we have. Exactly. Yeah. Totally. And somebody did point out about the yellow lightning or whatever. I think that's another choice they made to sort of make it stand away from the Justice League stuff.
Well, it's also to make him Flash. Like Flash, it's red and yellow, not red and blue.
Yeah,
it's not Superman.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that also I do want to point this out because Laura brought it up in the chat. None of the drama that we talked about the week before was brought up in this. Like everybody thought, oh, they're definitely going to talk about the Ray Fisher stuff. They're definitely going to talk about the Ezra Miller stuff. They're definitely going to talk about the Hartley stuff. Like none of that was addressed at Fandome. And I honestly am not surprised. I said from the beginning, I thought they were going to try and keep it positive and fun and not address any of that stuff. And they literally didn't. I'm not really surprised that they didn't talk about it. So did it shock you at all? Did you think they would say anything, or do you think it was?
Oh no, there's no way they're going to make it like some like apology sort of negative thing. Like, oh, I'm sorry for this, or how about we talk about this thing? Like, I don't know why, but I'm surprised people even thought that was going to happen.
Well, I think a lot of people hoped that they would. Like they were hoping that they would address some of these issues because they wanted them to stand up and basically take like the stuff with Amber Heard, the stuff with Ezra, all of that. People were hoping they would. I don't know if anybody actually thought they would. I think they were just hoping that they would. And I personally, I'm like, no, there's no way. There's no way they're going to address any of that, honestly. So, also the Flash movie. Any other stuff you want to talk about as far as that goes? Like, I guess
the Flash movie.
That Flick coming back. We kind of already talked about that a little bit. So we talked about that.
There's not really much to talk about outside of I was sort of disappointed they didn't really be on any casting because like this movie, even though COVID's happening, like this movie, it's ready to go. It's ready to shoot from apparently. Like they want to go because like they were meant to move into shooting. Like they'd be, if COVID hadn't happened, they would have been getting ready to shoot in like the next probably month because Ezra Miller had to finish Fantastic Beasts and that would have been wrapping up now or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of disappointed they didn't announce a casting, but maybe they just didn't have it.
Yeah, for Reverse Flash, I was hoping they would, but they didn't do that. So,
or even Nora Allen, like someone like that.
So, couple of super chats here. Geek Information, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I think that Ben Affleck Batman makes the suit for him during the start of the film or off-screen moment, like Sisso did in season 4. Did they confirm that it was Michael Keaton that makes it, or they just say Batman?
They just said Batman. They just said a Batman.
Interesting. That could work. I mean, I definitely think it's going to be a real quick, like, here's your new suit thing. I don't think it's going to be a big discussion about it because I think they want to keep the Flash movie sort of lighthearted until it gets to the Flashpoint stuff. So, and let's go ahead and move on. I guess we'll move on to the Flash TV stuff. We got quite a bit to talk about there. We got stuff after Fandome to talk about as well. Shawnick with the $4.99 super chat, thank you so much, says, could we see new DC TV footage because they delayed Fandome Part 2? Will any of the shows have started filming or have promo photos or anything? That's a good question. I actually thought about that too. What are your predictions on that? Because I'm hoping that we are going to see more footage because they delayed it, but I have the sinking feeling that they just have extended Q&As. Is pretty much what we're going to see for those.
Oh no, they'll just keep as it is. Like they won't have anything new. They'll just keep it as it is because even then, I think Batwoman's the first show to start filming, and they'd only have about a week of filming, and they just wouldn't do that. I think Batwoman's got enough going on where they're going to talk about, and they probably talk about stuff, and they'll probably show Javicia Leslie in a suit for the first time. In the panel, they won't add anything. I'd be shocked if they add anything, just because they've got everything done. They're not going to mess with what they've got recorded.
I would hope that they would, but you're probably right. So with the Flash, what we did get was the trailer. It was actually extended trailer. It felt like it was like 2 minutes long. It was a pretty long trailer. We got lots of new footage, stuff from the end of last season that wasn't used. We see the start of them creating a new Speed Force. We see them dealing with Eva. We see that I think it was Top was teaching Cecile some stuff or talking to her about something, which their powers aren't really that similar. So I thought that was kind of weird. We see more Godspeed. and a lot more Iris would have been connected to last season's ending or whatever. Anything in that trailer that now that it's been out for a bit, anything you've thought about from that trailer that gets you super, like piques your interest for next season, or does it feel like a lot of it was what you kind of expected to see in the trailer?
I was interested to see the top come back and then she's working with Black Hole. Like that was probably an interesting thing. And then the other versions of Iris coming back was interesting. Like season 1 Iris, hashtag yeeted/dead Iris from Savatai, and the old lady Iris.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what's going to go on there. I wonder if we've been asking.
I wonder if the Iris stuff is her just being, I guess, screwed up from the mirror world. Like if all those irises aren't really there, that she's just seeing visions of them.
Well, they said it's because of a fragmented mind. So it's
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So different fragments of Iris.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of Iris. People in the chat are joking about it. I mean, we saw that she was going to get a pretty big or substantial amount of stuff at the end of the season, honestly. And I feel like that would have led up to whatever they were going to do with her, bring her out of the mirror world. We also saw that Eva was going to make some big moves as well. So I feel like I'm just kind of shocked that we got so much Cecile. Like, is it her character? Like, are there many people demanding more of that character? I feel like she's getting a weird, I don't know. Maybe Eric Wallace likes the character of Cecile and wants to do more with her. I don't really understand how she sort of fits in with, like, I don't know. Like, she got a pretty substantial amount of time in that promo with Top. Do you think that was just because that was one of the stories that was going to happen in the last episode, or what do you think was going on with that? Because I've never thought of Cecile. I don't dislike Cecile, right? There's a lot of people that don't, but I feel like she got a lot of content there.
I think they just needed to show stuff. They just needed to show stuff that was new. Like, it wasn't like just random scenes of like someone staying there. Like, oh, okay, Cecile's in a scene with the Top, so that's why they showed it.
I don't like her powers. I think her powers are so just vague. They're not great powers. I would rather have telepathy, but telepathy is so OP in these shows. Like, Martian Manhunter has it, and we forget half the time that he has it. He doesn't even really use it. So I don't. What do you think of Cecile as a character? We've never really talked about this. Do you like her powers? Do you not like her powers? Because I think we're going to see a lot more of her at the beginning of the season.
I don't think we will. I think you might be looking too deep into it, to be completely honest. I think they just needed to show stuff that was new. Like, you could look at it and go, "That's new," because it's got the Top there, and you got to realize they had to cut stuff with Hartley and Sue, which would have followed on to this episode. They didn't have a lot of footage actually to work with, even though they were only like a day or two away from finishing the episode. They actually didn't have a lot to work with because they had to delete stuff.
You're saying it's funny that I'm saying that, but Cecile did get a lot of time this season. She was used in quite a bit, and she was
but she's used. But I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, Cecile's vital to the story. So
no. I don't think she's vital either. I just feel like Eric Wallace seems to be very interested in that character. So I'm curious to see.
I think it's just an easy character because I think Cecile's a hard character to hate.
Yeah,
I think the character, like, she just comes off too likable, so it's a hard character to hate.
So Laura here, and this goes back to what I was saying about Iris, because people are kind of joking that like Growly Bear says, how many times you're going to see a lot of Iris this season, as a joke or whatever. The deleted scenes, there was a lot of deleted footage of Iris this season as well, that came out after the season was over. So Iris was a very prominent character in the season of The Flash. Even more so than I thought she was going to be towards the end of the season. So I was kind of annoyed with that storyline. I wanted it to wrap up, and then the worst thing happened. It had to get cut short, and the storyline gets carried over into next season. I just don't know how I feel about it. I think we could probably get into a discussion about Iris as a character, but I don't really want to do that because I think that always ends up devolving into a bunch of misunderstandings and people mad in the comments. But let's make a blanket statement about Iris as a character from this season. I think Eric Wallace cares more about Iris than the other EPs did. Was that fair to say? It's pretty clear to me that I think he cares about where the direction of that character.
Well, see,
compared to the last 3 seasons. Let's say seasons 3, 4, 5. I think Iris is much better in 6 than she's been in the last 3 seasons.
Well, it's either that or he just hears fan feedback because Iris was always there, if not had the same amount of screen time.
Yeah.
It's just that she just wasn't moving anywhere. She was just on screen looking at you going, hello, but there was no movement with the storyline. So I don't know necessarily if it's care more about it because she was always there in the same capacity.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Iris, like particularly if you look at the time when Iris was in charge of Team Flash, I felt like she was given that role because they didn't want to give her another story separate from the rest of the team. Whereas I think Eric Wallace has made it very clear that he wants to give Iris a separate story. I mean, he does connect to the team, but not in the same way as giving her a role that she wouldn't normally have, like making her team leader or something like that. So I just feel like Eric seems to care more about the quality of the character. So maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I think it's just because you share a name.
You think so? What is that?
Yeah, there's some name bias going on there.
Oh, okay.
Well, you and Eric and Eric.
It is
Eric,
what it is, I guess.
Eric squared.
Let's see. What should we talk a little bit about the Hartley Sawyer news? I think that's kind of interesting. We don't have to get into the drama, but we could talk about the fact that they have finally discussed what they're going to do with the character, which I think is kind of interesting. And this is not related to Fandome, but we did get it recently that they're going to basically recast him with somebody, I guess, already on the show to finish up his story and have him shapeshift. Am I getting that right? Is that the gist of it there?
Well, it's exactly what I thought. I think most of us was thinking is that they were going to leave him. They say the door's open. He won't be coming back. No. Ralph as a character won't come back. He's just saying that. I don't know why Eric even said that because I think most people are in the ballpark of either write him out or don't. Like the only choice is to get rid of him. Like you wouldn't recast him. So, and they said they're going to play it off as a joke. Like it sounds like he's going to be back for one scene. And it's him leaving, and they're going to play it off as a joke. I'm intrigued to see who they make him impersonate. Who I would.
Who do you think would pull out the most emotional?
I saw people saying that it's going to be Tom Cavanaugh.
Okay,
he's going to impersonate Wells, which Tom Cavanaugh could probably make it funny enough where people wouldn't get too triggered.
Yeah. Stagger Vord, you had a super chat. Oh, yeah, you did. The Batman trailer. I was saving that because we're going to be talking about the Batman movie at the end. But I will answer it. Don't worry. I have it marked over there. Go ahead. Tom Cavanaugh or something like that. Is it what you're thinking?
Well, I think I saw people saying Tom Cavanaugh.
I'm going to throw this out there because I want to address it before the season starts so people can come back to this day, August 25th, 2020, and hear me say this because people love to call me on stuff. So let's see if they call this out or not. There has to be a reason why Ralph would leave town when he can literally look like anybody else. Like if he becomes like this target where people can come after him, he can look like anybody he wants at any time. So he wouldn't be leaving because he could be hunted down because if he doesn't look like himself, he could never get caught. So what do you think the reason is for him to leave? Because he's going to leave, obviously.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't think it's a good enough reason. I don't think it's going to make sense anyway, but they're stuck in a corner. And to be honest, like everyone, because they say, they could just recast him and get someone that looks like him. The person will get attacked. I don't want to see someone just get attacked online because that's just how it is. I already get quoted on Twitter by people saying rehire. Like it's sort of annoying. I'm not going to tweet them directly, but it is sort of annoying just seeing whenever I tweet something out about the Flash, you get quote retweeted saying rehire Hartley Sawyer. Well, it's never going to happen.
Right.
But also, I don't believe that they should recast Ralph either because
nobody wants to see a recast Ralph Dibny.
No one wants to see Ralph get recast. I don't know. Is there actually anyone that wants to see that? Like, because you just know the person's going to get attacked online, and it's going to be like, not as good as Hartley and stuff like that. So,
look, it's a sticky situation. Goes, but what I mean, Wells doesn't have that problem. The idea of Wells being a fugitive disappeared in season 4. Like they stopped caring about that by the end of the season. So he walks around all the time now. Nobody bats an eye at him. I would say if they want to turn him into someone to make it super emotional, make him into Barry because Barry saved him back during the Thinker days. Make Barry Ralph Dibny so he can say goodbye to everybody as Barry Allen. I think that would be funny. Also, what do you think about them deciding to keep Sue around because they say she's going to be coming back at some point during the season? How do you feel about that?
I'm not really too fussed about it because it would have been I would have felt bad for Natalie Dreyfus, who plays Sue. Like, she did nothing. It has nothing to do with her. She would have lost her job. Like, she was told that she was meant to be in season 7. Technically, she's losing some money because she was meant to be in more of season 7. So she's already taking a bit of an L for something that had nothing to do with her. So as long as she's getting something out of it, that's okay. And I'm sure that by the way that Eric worded it, it's going to be relevant when she shows up, and it sounds like it's only going to be maybe like 4 or 5 episodes in the entire season, if not less, maybe like 3 or 4. So I've no drama around that too much. I saw people losing a left nut over it, but like, Jesus, like there's demonetization, but
of course.
But yeah, I was like, why? Like, seriously, like, switch the brain on, you'll be able to figure out.
Yeah, like Warrior saying that the new Batwoman is getting hate. Yeah, and there's no reason. Like, there's no reason for her to be getting hate. Like, already, the people that were hating on Batwoman said they hated it because of the character of Kate Kane and Ruby Rose being involved in this, that, and the other.
I'm surprised people are hating. Like, did you like? I didn't watch her. I watched one of the panels she was on, which was like the Legacy of the Bat, and it had pretty much all live action characters that were playing Bat family related characters that weren't Batman. So it had like Brent Waits and stuff like that. And she was on there, and like, it was the first time I've heard her speak, seen her, anything like that outside of pictures. Hadn't watched anything, and she came off as like really likable, and she was like stoked to be in the role and stuff. So I know how you could watch that interview. I don't know what she was like in the other interview, because I know there was another panel. I can't remember what it was. I know it was early in the day, but I know how you could watch that and go, "Oh, she sucks."
And we got the Jim Lee artwork where you kind of got to look at what her design or whatever. I think she's going to look really good as Batwoman. Like, I'm totally ready for that to happen. So
yeah. I think people that are just hating on it, people that would never even touch the show anyway, they're just hating it because I guess I don't know, they probably got slapped or something earlier in the day or something.
So either way, I think that like, as far as the Flash goes, a lot of that footage we saw, with the exception of the stuff they're going to have to reshoot because of the Hartley situation, they're going to be able to use a lot of that footage at the beginning of next season. Don't you think so? Like, a lot of that's just going to be used in the first episode, most likely.
What?
The stuff from the end of the Flash season 6. They're probably just going to use a lot of that in the first episode, correct?
Well, I think they just said it's the first episode, but they're going to implement. They're probably going to. Well, now that Hartley's on the show, like, if Hartley was still there, probably would have been the exact same episode. But now that they have to write out Ralph, I'd assume they'll probably do that one scene where Ralph leaves. That whoever cameos as him.
Yeah.
And then they'll probably just add. I reckon they'll plant seeds for later.
So I wonder if they're going to use the footage of Ralph and then at the very end switch it around to him looking like somebody else. Before,
I don't think they can.
You don't think so?
I think they have to pay him. I don't think they want to pay him.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that check has already been cashed. If that's the case, then they can still use it, I think. I don't know. We'll see. If anybody has any questions about the Flash, feel free to send over the super chats in the chat, because we are going to move on to, I guess, the last thing we're going to talk about, which is the Matt Reeves Batman movie and the awesomeness that was that trailer. So oddly enough, we got a trailer for the Batman film, and we saw for the first time, let's see, what is up here? We got to see, Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne Batman, and I will say that, as far as I'm concerned, I think it looks great, but I have seen people who are giving it a hard time because they're saying that he looks like an emo Winter Soldier. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay. There's people that have been saying that they don't like the way it looks and stuff. Honestly, it's all over Twitter, and it's a lot of people who prefer, I guess, the Ben Affleck Batman and the Snyder Cut stuff. And so I'm assuming they just don't like the idea of this new Batman or whatever. But I will say this, the trailer, if you were someone who was kind of skeptical about this, I don't see how you can look at this trailer and not think that this is going to be a pretty good movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you'd have to be an idiot. Like, it's just like pretty much that simple. Like, I think you'd have to be an idiot to look at that and go, wow, that looks terrible. I think even like it's one of the most perfect trailers I think I've ever seen, which is crazy, seeing that they only filmed about 25 to 30% of the movie.
Right.
I think it's actually insane that they actually were able to nail the trailer as well as they did.
I want to say, based on the trailer, I love the cinematography in this movie. It looks rare that you see a movie with superheroes in it that doesn't look covered with VFX.
Yeah.
Like, this world looks real. It looks like a real world with a real Batman. And it, to me, it even looks more real than the Christopher Nolan films in terms of the world that it's in. And that's no disrespect, because I love the Christopher Nolan trilogy. But this movie feels like this world that's really lived in. And
it feels like Gotham City.
yes.
Like, it actually feels like this is a city that's been around, it's been built on.
Mm-hmm.
And like, well, let's be honest, crap goes down in this city, and it's not a good place to live. It looks like it's a bad place to live. It looks like a David Fincher movie. If you've watched
you and he says it's like the movie Seven, and
it's pretty much Seven. You spelled Seven wrong, but it's meant to have the number 7 there.
Edgy take, Hero's Journey. I personally don't like the trailer. I'm sorry, but it didn't have a Batman feeling. There we go. I told you there were people that feel that way about it. There are people that think that he's too violent. That
not everyone can be correct, Eric. There's always going to be people that are incorrect. So that's just how the world works. Some people just can't be correct. But I'm excited to see how they do it. Like, the whole Riddler thing, I think, is super cool. How because from what it looks like he's wrapped himself up, so he doesn't leave trace evidence behind, so they can't track him. So he is this like anomaly, this like unidentifiable person at first. But yeah, like, it has a Mage of 7 vibes, just like a David Fincher movie. It looks like a David Fincher movie. Even like Mindhunter, it almost gives like Mindhunter vibes.
Is there an L to be given out here? Catwoman is
but Giovanni's an attention whore, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Yeah. I was not skeptical about Robert Pattinson as Batman. I think after I kind of thought about it,
we can go back to our discussion. We'll both like wait and see.
Yeah, and I think that this is it. Like, the fact that he says "I am vengeance" and he literally beats the hell out of that person right in front of them in the gang there. I just was like, okay, this looks pretty great to me. Staggervore had a super chat earlier, and I can't pull it up on the screen, but he says, from 1 to 10, how would you rate the Batman trailer? I don't think in terms of a trailer giving me, and again, this is what you say, like less than 30% of the movie is filmed, 25% of the movie.
Yeah, it was like 25, 30 or something like that.
It doesn't get much more perfect than this. I would say for me, this trailer is probably a 10 for me, because it hyped me from beginning to end. Every single scene from this trailer, from the start to the finish, I was totally engaged. I don't think I've gone back and watched a trailer this much in forever. Like, I've gone back and watched it several times.
Well, no, except Pitch Perfect 3.
Of course. I think Catwoman looks amazing. It's a good, like, early Catwoman design. Riddler looks really cool and really creepy. And we saw the Penguin, correct? That was the Colin Farrell character.
Yeah, that's saying that's Colin Farrell.
Yeah. Either way, looks great. It's all practical effect. There's no CG there. I think it looks amazing. So this is going to be a movie that I'm really going to be watching out for. And I don't know if this Batman is going to work as a Batman in the Justice League universe, because this feels to me more like a Nolan Batman, which I don't think he would have worked in the Justice League universe either. So I'm hoping that even if he does visit, that he kind of has his own, like, this trilogy really is his own thing, because I'm really excited about it. So
like, this is another Oscar DC movie.
Yeah,
like it's pretty much going to win the makeup one for Colin Farrell, because the fact that it doesn't even look, even his eyes don't look like Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
or anything, like any feature doesn't look like Colin Farrell as him as the Penguin. I think you're probably going to see 2 of the people in this movie get nominated for like acting awards. It wouldn't surprise me if it is. I would say that Paul Dano, who's playing the Riddler, even though you don't even see him in the trailer, just his voice makes me think that he'll get nominated, because he's a really good actor. If you haven't watched Prisoners, you should watch Prisoners. He's I won't say what he is, because I'll probably get the stream demonetized 100%.
So basically, like, my idea is with this movie, or my thoughts on this movie are, I waited for it. I was very patient. I didn't like some of the behind the scenes shots of it, but now that the trailer is out and we're seeing the suit, we're seeing the concept, we're seeing the cinematography, we're seeing the look of it, I am totally sold. 10 out of 10 trailer for me. I will be there opening night if possible. I think it's going to be great, you guys. I think we're going to have a great Batman trilogy with Matt Reeves. And
the thing I don't like is everyone's going, oh, Joker in the sequel. Hopefully, we don't need the Joker again. The Joker can be there if he wants to, but I don't know why there's a need to have a new Joker. Like, there's so many. Like, you know what I'd love to see? Here's a pitch for the sequel. Mad Hatter, make him like Jigsaw from Saw.
Okay.
Just a messed up Mad Hatter.
So super creepy, like 1,000% creepy.
Super creepy. He's taking Alice in Wonderland to the next level, trying to turn Gotham into this just like messed up playground for him. Do that. That sounds awesome to me. If we got like a serial killer sort of thing with the Riddler in the first movie, make the second one this like Mad Hatter. Like we haven't seen the Mad Hatter in a movie. We've seen him in live action. Haven't seen him in a movie. God, let's do some Clayface action or something. Let's make that work in some way.
Victor DiCiancello with the 199 super chat. He goes, "Is the Batman early in his years as a vigilante?" I believe it's year 2 is what they said. It's year 2. So yeah, it's very early, year 2.
Like Hush would be awesome. I'd love to see Hush. Like a take on Hush. I think it'd be like an early Bruce Wayne would be a really good time to use Hush. There's even like someone like Victor Zsasz in some way. Like, but then again, that maybe plays into the whole serial killer thing maybe a bit too much as well.
Yeah. Could you imagine a Batman trilogy without the Joker? If they did all three?
I'd love it. It'd be so refreshing. It'd be so refreshing.
Yeah. So Tomo says year 2 Gotham PD is set in year 1. Okay, well that's kind of interesting, which means we probably won't see much of the Batman. That's when he's kind of like
you're pretty much seeing like the myth of the Batman grow and the reactions from the PD.
Sign me up for that. I think that might be good. If that's the story, I'll definitely check it out. So let's move on here from the Batman. 10 out of 10. Loved it. Any other questions you guys want to drop? Amir with a $5 super chat. If the Speed Force dies and exists through space and time, that should cause multiversal timeline changes since there wouldn't even be past speedsters. You're absolutely right. I mean, I've said that from the get-go, but I think the amount of effort it would take to do that for like the TV show would be so huge that they kind of have to play it fast and loose. Is that right? Because I think they would have to go back and do too much with some of the other shows, especially Arrow and things like that. I don't know if it would affect like Eobard Thawne or if they're going to come up with a way to. I think we have to think of the idea of Crisis as just being a way for them to combine everything together, and the Speed Force dying because of that. The combination of that and the Speed Force dying, we're just supposed to accept that this is a whole new thing, right?
Yeah.
Because the two things kind of contradict each other in a way. So we're just going to. You're right, Amir. You're absolutely right. And I would agree with you, but I just don't think the shows are going to put that much effort into it. Stagger with the 49 super chat. Any idea what they have plans for Flash season 7 after the Mirror story? And so you mean like the rest of the season or whatever? I haven't heard too much about that. Have you heard anything from any of your?
Eric Wallace confirmed that Godspeed is probably the first half threat.
Okay.
So he'll probably be the villain for the first half, and then they'll probably go down the anti-hero route in the back half.
Okay.
I don't know who the big bad for the season is going to be in the back half. I'd assume someone that Godspeed can tie into. I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Yeah, Farzad says Eric's made so many videos on this topic. Yeah, if you go back and you look, I've done a ton of like theory videos on what I've thought of the Speed Force and time travel and everything. I think I've done maybe 4 or 5 videos on that, especially on the Reverse Flash. I did like a 3-part series on that character. So, but that was like 4 years ago, so I could probably update it now. Tomo here with the £2 super chat says, "What would be the story for a second Flash movie?" After Flashpoint. Probably maybe a Reverse Flash film.
Yeah, it's Reverse Flash. It set him up in Flashpoint, and in the second movie, it's Flashpoint.
Yeah,
sorry, it's Reverse Flash.
Yeah, I would definitely say that for sure. So I'm excited. I think we got a lot of good things in the pipeline. We have DC Fandome. What is it now? Is it a week away? No, not this weekend.
2.5.
2.5 weeks away. What do you think we're going to see in the second one as far as the shows go? Extended panels for Q&A? Do you think we're going to get more footage? We know we've got a couple of shows like Legends of Tomorrow, Batwoman are going to have some stuff to show. Do you think we're going to get trailers from anybody else or just like information? Because they haven't been filming. So I'm assuming there's not going to be a lot of footage. Even
no, there'll be nothing. Like you might see Batwoman reveal a first look at the suit. Superman and Lois might have a first look at this if he's got a new suit, which hopefully he does. and just be extended Q&As. Like, as I think I said in my stream earlier on, I think Eric Wallace is going to confirm that the gold boots are in the season 7 suit once they can get that done, because obviously, and get it into the season, so it might take a bit. Right. Yeah, they'll talk. Like, the thing is like there's like another half an hour of panels, at least half an hour for the Flash panel. Sorry, that wasn't there. So, and yes, I know some of it's going to be discussed in the previous season, but I don't think they'd spend too much on that. I think it probably maybe like a third and then 2/3 of what's coming up. And Eric Wallace, I know, teased that like there's going to be reveals in the panel, but obviously he didn't know at that time that it was getting cut.
Right.
When he did that, when he revealed that. So,
Chuck King, watch this on playback. We did a whole thing on that on the route of the recasting. Batwoman suit, Superman suit. Yep, absolutely. Supergirl's last season, Legends last season. I don't think it's going to be Supergirl's last. I mean, it might be Supergirl's last season. We've been saying that for like 2 years now, but I think Legends has a high probability of maybe ending their run. I would be really surprised if they went on another season, but I said that last year. Any thoughts on those two there?
I have no idea. Could be a flip of the coin.
Lone Wolf, are you still going to do your Shield review? I am, but the problem is that, well, the season's ended, so there's no urgency to actually do it, because they're not going to have another episode or anything like that. But the way my schedule lined up in DC Fandome with that coming out is I wanted to get out my content for that, since it happened on, last week or whatever. I wanted to get all that out as much as I could, and then I was going to do Shield at the end of this week. So that's my plan. What are you laughing about there?
I saw this photo. Can you put it up on the stream?
Can't you do it? You've got the thing there. If you want to pull it up,
I put it in your DM so you can click.
Well, let me see. Hold on. Is it going to be something that I don't want to pull up? So I don't want. No, I would put that up, but they're going to flag me for that.
No, they won't.
They will totally get me for that.
No, they won't. Don't be a bitch.
All right, we're going to put it up for a split second. All right, here we go.
You're not going to get copyright claim for that.
You don't think so?
No, it's a picture.
Let me see. I should probably download it first, so the Windows not going to work right. Just talk amongst yourselves while I do this. Save it as what should I save it as? I don't even know.
A GIF.
No, I mean, like, what title?
Hold on, I'll just share my screen. You're taking 27 years.
Well, I have to save it. It won't let me share the DM there. So there we go.
Oh, how funny.
Take it in. Take it in. War gods.
Oh,
there we go. Anyway, Lone Wolf, I will have the review up probably by the end of this week. Maybe Thursday or Friday morning.
Oh.
In the Flash Extended panel, we learn a bit more about the new season. It really depends. If this next fandom is anything like the first one, we're going to get a lot of questions that aren't specifically about the new season.
That whole thing just made me remind. I saw people referring to it as a Game Boy cutscene.
For the Nintendo 64, is that what it is? Is that what it's
Game Boy? They're not even Game Boy Color.
Wait, did it say Game Boy? Did it? Hold on.
No, it was Nintendo 64.
I was
someone else saying.
I was going to say, oh
Game
god.
Boy.
Is Batman based on a long Halloween? I don't think so.
Hold on, I got another one that I can send.
I don't even know what to say.
Oh, PS2 cutscene.
Oh no! What are you sending?
You'll see.
I don't know if I want to see. Tomo, £2 super chat. How are you finding Lucifer? Loving the reactions. I've actually recorded my reactions up to episode 5, but I'll have to release them one at a time. Well, I'm doing 2 this week. There's 2 coming out this week, so you'll get 2 of those this week, and then the next one will be the week after. But I'm having a good time watching Lucifer. Thank you so much. And if you guys want to see my Lucifer reaction and reviews, you hit that join button.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, bye.
Oh, it's too funny. Oh,
Okay.
oh, how funny.
Oh. I know people are caught up on, or they've already watched Lucifer all the way with the new season. I'm watching it fresh. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So if you want to watch, hit the join button. Come watch it with me. I'm still on season 1. I'm enjoying it though. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people told me about it. I'm going to add another reaction series probably in September. So get ready for it. All right. Unless there's more super chats, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. We actually got through everything, and I'm totally surprised that we didn't spend an hour talking about the Snyder Cut, even though we did get a kind of big joke there at the end with those pictures. Not even going to respond on that one. So any more super chats, go ahead and drop them in. But we are going to do our dad jokes. I have 2. I don't know if they're going to be dad jokes or bad jokes. We're going to have to get the comments going there for that.
I've got 4.
4? Okay, I'll pick out a third one. Let me get another one. I'll just grab one. Here we go. No, that one's bad. That one's really bad. Really, really bad. Like worse than some of the ones I've been doing. Because, mine are not great anyway.
Well, I'll go first while you're looking for one.
Yeah.
Why did the police officer arrest the duck?
I don't know.
Because it was selling quack.
Demonetized. Totally. Totally. Look, Everett here says, all hail Bebo with the super chat. All hail him. I don't know. I don't dislike Bebo. I think Bebo is fine. I think he's just been overused. It seems like we have more and more random Bebo stuff. Do you remember how I felt about that finale that season?
Yeah.
Big L on that one. All right, so okay, what do you call a duck? Let's keep it in the duck family. What do you call a duck that gets straight A's?
I have no idea.
A wise quacker.
Oh, wow.
All right, dad joke or bad joke? We didn't do that with Pages. Tell me mine. Dad joke or bad joke? I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Go ahead. What's your next one?
So the inventor of the throat lozenge, he actually died recently.
Mm-hmm.
There was no coffin at his funeral.
Okay, that was a good one. That one actually got a giggle out of me. Was that one a dad joke or a bad joke? Let us know in the comments below. Rival Flash says, oh, this is a hot take maybe. Apartment 4 is just a Bebo merch storage closet. Ooh. I don't know if is that sacrilege? Can you even say something like that? I don't know about that one. Apartment 4, that's Pagey's jam.
Yeah, my secret oasis.
Okay, so here goes my next joke. Can you tell me, is it a dad joke or a bad joke? Where can you get a degree in ice cream making?
The ice cream parlor.
At Sunday school.
Oh, wow.
Dad joke or bad joke?
That's pretty bad. I can't really rate that very high.
Okay. So where's your next one? Next one.
What happens to an escalator when it stops working?
I don't know.
They become stairs.
I mean, I was going to say that, but I'm like, that's obviously not the joke. Really? Dad joke or bad joke? Was Pagey's dad joke or bad joke? That was so simple. Like I was gonna say that literally. I swear I was. Swear it. All right. Why do dogs make the worst dance partners?
They're barking up the wrong tree.
No, they have 2 left feet.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh wow.
Dad joke or bad joke? Tell me in the comments below.
Okay, right. You ready for the final one?
It is time for you. No pressure, but this is the last joke of the evening.
You will be walking up and you will be getting up and walking away after this one.
Okay, so go ahead and drop this joke. Drop the mixtape. Drop the diss track.
So how does a hamburger introduce his new girlfriend?
I don't know.
Meet Patty.
All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have ended the show. Was that a dad joke or a bad joke? Come on. Somebody said sad. So they've got a third category. Dad, bad, and sad. Oh, well. All right. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out for the after party. I said 2.0, but somebody said 3.0. So we've already advanced, I guess, to the next level. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you, everybody who is continuing.
We might be after party type C next week.
Yeah, who knows? I'm curious. Okay, so you guys let me know on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter if something huge happens tomorrow in the DC world.
Oh, Wills, God.
Something right. If something in the DC world absolutely goes crazy.
Actually, you know what it will be?
What's that?
Well, let me check the Ray Fisher's probably going to tweet.
Oh no. No. All right. So something big is going to happen tomorrow. Tweet me and let me know what you guys think about that. If something big happens, we'll know if it works. If something big happens tomorrow. Sharp 44 agents overview coming out before the end of the week. So there we go. That's pretty much it. The next party will be scheduled. Well, the next official after party is next Tuesday. Just look for the times. It's going to be sometime around. It's always much earlier now until the shows come back. So just keep an eye on. Hit the notification bell. That's the best way to do it. But it's scheduled for next Tuesday. I might do another live stream this week if something big happens tomorrow, but we'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Thank you, Shark, not the Shark, not Mr. Shark. Thank you, Shark,
singular Shark. Yeah,
for being here this evening, and we will catch you guys next time. Anyway, have a good night, and we will see you later. Take care.
I'm a Shark.